Hey guys, this is Anshika Gupta and welcome to my channel Let's Code and Solve. I hope you all enjoyed and understood the concepts of what are variable, inbuilt data type, its classification and implementation. In this series of Python programming, today we're going to learn about what are Python type conversion, its classification, and after that the typecasting. Before going to that, let's know what is Newton School. Newton School is a platform which prepares you for career in tech. It has courses designed for fresher, working professional, and also for women with no tech background. Newton School first trains you for 6 months, and after that it helps you out to become an amazing full stack developer. It also has a network of more than 300 great companies who hires from Newton School. So once the training is completed, Newton School also ensures that the students are placed with some of the best companies in the country. And the best part is that the Newton School has a pay after placement program under which you don't have to pay Newton School anything until or unless you are placed with minimum 5 lakh CTC. Another great initiative is taken by Newton School is Launchpad. So Launchpad is an initiative taken by Newton School for people who want to start coding from scratch and learn the basic of a different programming language for absolutely free of cost. This video will also be available in the Launchpad section of Newton School. There you can practice several quizzes, assignments related to the course, and even though you can ask the doubts too. Let's move to today's performer. Today we're going to learn about what are Python type conversion. So what are Python type conversion? The process of converting the value of one data type, that is integer, string, then float, boolean, etc. And after that it has to convert another data type, that is called the type conversion. So the type conversion are automatically being converted when the data types involved are built-in types, that is int, float, or even if we take x as an integer, it will also be going to convert even if it has an assigned value to it. For user-defined data types, the compiler does not support automatic type conversion, and even though automatic type conversion are always being performed under arithmetic operations or casting operation. So there are two types of conversion, that is implicit conversion and another one is explicit conversion. Under implicit conversion there is further classification, that is arithmetic operations, whereas in explicit conversion that is casting operations. Now often we want to write expression that is in mixed mode, whether it contain one operands, two or more than one. And when we use to write the operands in one another type, that contains always a real part or whether it's an integer part. What does it implies? It implies that it need to convert one type to another so that the expression can be evaluated. In implicit and in explicit, we need an expression to be evaluated with containing the data type. So the Korean is an implicit conversion and the cast are the explicit conversion. What does it implies? It implies that it is a systematic that defines a rule for determining type to convert to one form of operand to another. But it has a problem to lose or to detect the errors. But in cast, it can lead to very clumsy expression if doing a lot of mixed mode expression, that is float, index, then integer, that means speed and everything. Now, moving forward, what are implicit type conversion? So, implicit type conversion occur when there is mixed type of expression that are evaluated, or when the actual argument in a function call to its own value, but it don't match the formal argument of the function which is in a prototype type. So, implicit type conversion, Python automatically convert one data type to another data type. That means that it doesn't need any user involvement in it. So, firstly, if the compiler tries to apply a trivial conversion, it will recall back. But what if there is no match in it, or there is no conversion in it, so that the compiler attempts to apply a promotion quotation in that. So that's how we're gonna use that implicit type conversion in our upcoming implementation. If there is no match in implicit type conversion, it doesn't attempts to build that Python program and execute as a type error. But if there is no match, then the compiler attempts to apply a user-defined type conversion. Now, moving forward, what are implicit typecasting? So, when the type conversion is performed automatically by the compiler without programmer's intervention, such type of conversion is known as implicit type conversion or type promotion. For example, if you have to add the values which are having different data types, both values are first converted to same type. That is, if there is int and float, both int and float has to convert in whether both to be int or both to be float. So both values are first converted to same data type. When a short int value and an int value are added together, it means that it has to convert it in int type also. Such an example I have gave upon, like int plus short int gives you int. What if you have to convert the float? So you have to write a float value plus short float value, that it will be converting to float. Now, what are explicit type conversion? So in explicit type conversion, user convert the data type of an object to require the data type. In explicit, the lower data type is been converted to higher data type, and it occurs when the client explicit invoke a cast operation in it. So both implicit and explicit type conversions result in temporary object of the type being converted to. And we use the predefined function like int, float, string to perform the explicit type conversion. The value of original object is not effective when we use to convert lower data type to higher data type. And when we consider the execution efficiency, it means that it is important to reduce or to minimize the creation of such temporaries. That is not to be given in the output region. Okay. And now what is explicit typecasting? The type conversion performed by the programmer by posing the data type of the expression or the specific type is known as explicit type conversion. So typecasting in Python or in C is done by the data type and expression then column. That's how we're gonna use the int, float, string as a simple typecasting. So now what are the differentiation between the implicit and the explicit? So basic difference in both of them, that in implicit it occurs automatically, whereas in explicit it requires a cast. In implicit we guarantee to succeed, but in explicit it may succeed or it might not be. Okay. And third important difference of implicit and explicit is no information loss is there, or even the precision loss is there. But in explicit, information might be lost or might be leaked out. Okay. But both implicit and explicit conversions can be user defined. Moving forward, to perform some functions or some programs of implicit and explicit, you can go through Newton School Playground. It's amazing editor. You can download it, log in it, and after that use it for your programs. Now when we have to convert the integer to float, what we are going to use it? So we have to add two variable to store the value and of another variable. Okay, we will look at the data type of all three objects respectively. So let's write one code to store the value. So here I am writing one program to convert the integer to float. So suppose I wrote a variable num int and the value defined as 123. Now I want to add one float. I am writing the variable name as num flow. Value is being added. Now I have to get the output as new variable, adding these two variable I mentioned. Now the main thing is this. Now I have to print the values of data type num int. I have to get the data type of num int and its type. I want to know about the type. What is the type of num int? And after that, same with flow. Let's copy it. Num flow. Num flow. Now, what if I want to get the value of number, which is the new variable num new. I want the value of num new. This is the variable I maintain new one, and we'll sort out and after that again I want to get the data type integer. New variable I got it, and type num new. Okay, just let's run it, and from here you can select the language you are being using. So here is the program we wrote upon, and here's the output of it. So we added two variables, that is num int and num flow, storing the value in num new. What output we got upon? In the output we can see that the data type num int is an integer, while the data type num flow is a float. And also we can see that the num new has a float data type, because the Python always convert the smaller data type to the larger type of the data type to prevent the loss of data. So the num int, that is 123, that is integer. 1.23, it's a float, and after that when we adding it upon, it converted to the float, smaller to higher. Okay, now moving further, add the string of higher data type and the integer of lower data type. Okay, then I would like to add one string in that. Yeah, string in the quotation 1 2 might be 4 5 6. I have to print the data type. That is data type of num_int, and after that let's configure out that what is the type. That is num init, and after that closing. Same with num flow. And then let's print the output. Okay, this is the program to add the string higher data type with the integer of lower data type. It should not be float, it should be a string. Sorry, because we haven't added. So you can check out the output as the data type of num int is class int, that is 1 2 3, and after that is string. And why it didn't came or didn't give the output of third line, that is print num int plus num string. So there is a type error because we added two variables, that is num int and num string, and as we can see that the output we got is a type error. And Python is also able to use an implicit conversion in such conditions. And however we get the error about that, and because of that the Python has a solution for these data types in the situation to use the explicit conversion. Okay, what if we use the explicit type conversion in addition of the string or the integer using the explicit conversion? So let's write for that. If your playground or ID is not working of Newton School, you can reset it and after that rename it. Your ID will be start working. Now moving toward how to add or to how to make an addition of string and integer using explicit conversion. So here I wrote one program. Here I gave the init function as 1 2 3 and string as that, and I want to get an output of num int. So while getting the num int, let's run it. And after that running this program, we will get the data type of num int, and after data type of num string, then data type of num string after typecasting, then sum of num int and num string, and after that the data type of sum class in. Okay, so what we did in this program, so we added num string and num int variable in that, and we converted num string from string higher to integer lower, type using init function to perform the addition. After converting the num string to an integer value, Python is able to add these two variables, and we got this num sum value after adding that to be an integer value after low to high. Okay, what are the key points you have to remember while you are being typecasting or converting the Python types? That you have to remember 5 steps, that is the type conversion is the conversion of object from one data type to another, and that is to be performed lower to higher or higher to lower. Implicit type conversion is automatically performed by the type operators or type interpreters. Python always avoid the loss of data in implicit type conversion, but in explicit it might happen. In explicit type conversion, it is also called the typecasting, but the type that it is being obtained by certain objects are being converting predefinedly by the user. In typecasting, you lost the data or it might attain it, but you have to be careful to maintain an object for specific data type. Thank you for watching this video. Do like this video, subscribe to my channel and comment on that. Thank you.